Well, I had an eventful couple of hours. I built a little test. I have my LED in there, and I had a space to put in a resistor, and I have what I call a resistor substitution box. And I found that 1000 ohm resistance didn't get very bright. It got brighter as you went down. The other thing I learned was the more milliamps it got brighter, but we know we set our limit at 40. I turned the resistance down. As you can see, the knob is set at 330. So when I got it down to 330 with 15 volts, which would be the maximum we get through there, we get 33 milliamps. So that's as big, that was as small as I could go with as big a voltage as it would see. But then I wanted to come down to 54 and find out, 5 volts, 5 volts, what would happen with 330, and we got 6 milliamps of light. So it was a lower light. When the voltage drops, the light went lower. Then I needed to test the sensor, and the sensor would start out with low light around 500 ohms resistance. When I held it in the very bright light, resistance dropped to 150. Now, what I was trying to do then was pump 5 volts through that sensor and trigger this relay, which when I have the 5 volts on and I touch these two wires, can't hear it, but the relay will trigger. You could hear it. So at 5 volts without any resistance in the line, it worked. You put 150 ohms in line, it stops working just at this point with 33 milliamps of energy. And of course, you come down at 5 volts, it's not going to work. It's not going to fire. So it seems my light sensor likely is poor quality. And these magnets for these motors are getting to be a pain in the ass. They're probably low capability. Ideally you'd like it to get enough light it goes to 0. It doesn't happen. I've tried numerous lights around here to see how low it can go. It seemed like 100 is about as low as I could get it. I mean, this is a pretty pretty bright. If I turn this on, that's at 15.5. It's a little higher than it should be, but if you look into that, that's a fairly bright light, right? And this guy is just not cooperating whatsoever. He's not firing. The 5 volts is not enough to trigger the relay. The resistance never drops enough. So the idea is the light creates a chemical conductance and it travels and blah blah blah. So I'm kind of at an impasse. Testing these bits is probably something I could have done months ago, and I don't want to talk about it right now. So what I'm going to do is see what I can find in other sensors. I don't want that too bad. It'll burn up. I want to find out if there's other sensors. Is there another way? There's no sense going further with this if the key component can't relay the signal properly. You've got to come up with something. So I have an LED. I do have a pair of infrareds I'm going to substitute to see if the infrared's any cleaner. Does it trigger with no voltage, no volt drop? And can it carry 5 volts? I don't know. So I'm going to see what else I have laying around, but I have to get through this very basic piece before I can continue. And I thought I was closer, and it seems that I'm not. I don't know if I bought this. It's all one bag, so it's a batch. I don't know if they're from a bad source or what. I'll continue to update, continue to test, and I will find the solution. It's just going to take me a few days, I'm afraid. All right, gang. That's the end of that. Now I got to do my workout. Bye.